International stars are heading to the Asian Champions League. Lokomotiv takes the Russian Cup, Nikolov sets a new aces record, Japan hands out individual awards, and Sekita joins the Sunbirds. All that and more in this week's volleyball news. You know the drill, hit like and subscribe and I'll keep the volleyball updates coming your way. The hottest volleyball moments are covered live in my VK community. Join through the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen. Simian Nikolov just broke the NCAA record for most aces in a single season. The Bulgarian setter landed 101 service winners. Really looking forward to seeing him suit up for Bulgaria this summer. Ahead of the Asian Champions League, some teams are loading up. Nimir Abdelaziz signed a short-term deal with Al Rayyan in Qatar just for the tournament. Trentino and Verona will also play for Al Rayyan at the Asian Club Championship, and there's a chance Nikita might join them too. Polish players Fabian Drzyzga and Michael Kubiak will take the court for Shanghai in the same tournament. From Italy, Tatsunori Otsuka and Yuga Tarumi are joining the action as well. They'll represent Blution at the Asian Club Championship. The full list of foreign players for next season's Korean Men's League is now out. Mahel Ai, Sharon Vernon Evans, Rafael Araujo and Dimitar Dimitrov were selected in the draft, while Leo Leiva, Kyle Russell and Andres Rodriguez re-signed with their teams. American outside hitter TJ DeFalco confirmed he's staying with the Stinks in Japan for next season. Setter Masaki Oya will leave the Suntory Sunbirds after the Asian Club Championship. His replacement, Japan's national team starter Masahiro Sekita, who's coming over from the Stinks. Meanwhile, Polish outside hitter Alexander Slivka is also set to leave the Sunbirds after the Asian Club Championship. He'll be heading to Turkey next season to join Halkbank. Now let's wrap up the Japanese League season. Time for the award highlights. I already shared my MVP thoughts in a separate video, so this time I'll just briefly respond to some comments and move on. Some said I'm not much of an analyst or not a real volleyball expert. That's true, I've never claimed otherwise. This channel is just my personal take, not pretending to be the absolute truth. Am I a Ren hater? Yup! And probably a hater of Nishida, Engapet and a few others too. Big fan bases always have defenders ready to go to war for their favorite, even if no one's attacking them. But I've never dipped into cheap criticism or insults, never tried to tear down a player. I point out weaknesses during breakdowns. That's not hate. There's a space between love and hate, for those who forgot. Funny how the commentators think I disrespected Ran, meanwhile they reduce Muserski to just tall guy who can spike. Not even gonna argue with that on. Other commenters ignored the first final and only looked at stats from the second match. Funny thing, Muserski had more digs across both games, but no one seems to care. Oya actually led the finals in total serves, digs and ran the offense brilliantly. And yes, he's Japanese, but somehow that's not enough to get him in the MVP talk alongside Takahashi. Alright, I'm done with this topic. Feel free to keep the discussion going in the comments, but I'm out. I'm just a Ran Takahashi hater who knows nothing about volleyball. Got it? Good. Now let's check out the Japan League Awards. First, Team Awards. Blution was recognized for developing young talent. The Wolfdogs were praised for Best Fan Engagement. Blution's home court was named Best Arena. Breakthrough of the Year went to the Blazers for the most innovative changes. Not sure what that means exactly, so let me know in the comments if you've got ideas. Now for the individual awards. Starting with the stats-based, Nimir took top scorer, best attacker and best server. Best blocker went to Nishimoto and best receiver was Mori. Then came the voted awards: Season MVP Ran Takahashi, Regular Season MVP Nimir Abdelaziz, who also won Most Impressive Player. Rookie of the Year Taito Mizumachi, Best Coach Laurent Tilly, Fair Play Award Alan Diarmas. Now position by position picks. Opposites, Nimir by a landslide, followed by Muserski, Nishida, Miyaura and Rocky. Outside hitters, Lopez, Takahashi, Mizumachi, DeFalco, De Armas. Middle blockers, Larry, Nishimoto, Miwa, Tamema, Onodera. Setters, Fukatsu, Oya, Sekita, Eiro, Imahashi. Liberos, Yamamoto, Fujinaka, Ogawa, Mori, Koga. Reception, Takahashi led the way, then Yamamoto, Ogawa, Mori and Fujinaka. Special awards for promoting the league went to Yuji Nishida and Ran Takahashi. They also honored Japanese League veterans Hirotaka Kon and Yuta Yoneyama for their contributions. Let me know what you think about these awards in the comments. Yuki Ishikawa will captain Japan's men's national team in the upcoming international season, and leading the women's team will be his sister, Mayu Ishikawa. The Ishikawa parents must be proud. Sergei Grankin's time with Yaroslavich has come to an end. The club chose not to renew the 40-year-old coach's contract. He started the season as head coach, but later shifted to an assistant role under Sergei Shlepnikov. 34-year-old Serbian outside hitter Marko Ivovic is leaving Lokomotiv Novosibirsk at the end of the season to join Turkish side Sport Toto. Belogori is keeping their opposite duo for next season. Podrobinkin and Al-Hajdadi are staying with the team. The Moroccan opposite has extended his contract for 2 more years. Given Belogori's shaky season, this time he's not chasing offers abroad and will join the team's training camp right on schedule. But one you won't see in that training camp is Alexander Volkov. The club has decided not to renew his contract after back-to-back bronze finishes in the Russian Championship. Norbert Huber has just made Plus Liga history. He's now the first player to record 100-plus block points in 2 separate seasons. Last year, he blocked 149 attacks, this time exactly 100. Meanwhile, 36-year-old middle blocker Andrzej Rona from Project Warszawa has officially called it a career. Luxembourg-born opposite Kamil Rylitsky, who recently became an Italian citizen, has been included in Italy's extended national team roster for the upcoming international season, his first ever call-up. Fabio Soli is taking over as the new head coach of Verona. His spot on Trentino's bench, the reigning Italian champs, will be filled by Marcelo Mendes. Ivan Zaytsev, Marko Sedlacek, Michele Baranovic, Santiago Orduna and Gabi Garcia are all rumored to join newly promoted Cuneo in the Italian Superlega. Turkish league newcomers Gebzespor have signed Finnish setter Emi Tervaporti. The Asian Champions League just kicked off in Japan, but so far there's not much to talk about. We'll save that for the next news roundup once the results start coming in. For now, let's highlight the top contenders. The 2 Japanese hosts, Sunbirds and Blue Teon, plus Al Rayyan from Qatar and Syrian from Iran. Who do you think will lift the trophy? Back in Russia, the club season is officially over. The second Russian Cup of the volleyball year has wrapped up. Time to break it down. This tournament was a tough grind for the clubs, and not exactly easy on the fans either, who've already seen a ton of volleyball lately. And let's be honest, players weren't at their physical peak. A lot of the older guys were getting through matches with painkillers. So, in theory, the deeper benches had a real edge. And that's exactly what Zenit Kazan showed. First, their main squad handled Dynamo Moscow, then a full reserve lineup crushed Dynamo LO. The latter simply didn't have the depth to compete, and they knew it, given how much they rotated during games. Basically, the 2 Dynamo teams were battling for a spot in the semifinals, and it was Moscow who came out on top, hungry for a trophy to make up for their rough league season. Over in the other group, the tournament opened with a win for Zenit St. Petersburg over Lokomotiv, a great start that delivered some exciting volleyball for the neutral fans. Belogori jumped in on day 2, starting the tournament without Zhang. After the first match, Poroshin and Al-Hajdadi were given the day off. Then they couldn't take a single set off Lokomotiv, and that loss sealed their exit. The Lions needed a straight sets win over Zenit in their final group match, but Alekno's team shut that down fast. After the first set, they basically sent Alexander Volkov's squad on vacation. After the second set, Zenit secured first place in the group. Zenit's reserves dropped the third set but bounced back to win a dramatic fourth, and the match 3-1. I actually managed to catch a couple of days of the tournament live. Loved being there in person. Just a shame I had to leave before the finals and missed a chance to play some volleyball with you guys in Kazan. And the playoffs were wild. Lokomotiv pulled off a huge upset over Zenit Kazan in 4 sets, déjà vu from the 2022 Russian Championship. Then Dynamo Moscow edged out Zenit St. Petersburg in a thriller of a tiebreak, 25-23, to make the final. Just like the 2022 Super League final, this one went to 5 sets, but this time it was Lokomotiv who came out on top. A clever tip from Igor Kobzar and a match-winning ace from Omar Kurbanov wrapped up this marathon of a season, earning Lokomotiv their first Russian Cup since 2011. and 3rd overall. Huge congrats to them! Bronze went to the hosts, who swept Zenit St. Petersburg in 3 sets. Here's the all-star lineup from the tournament. Best middle blockers, Volvic and Juk. Best outside hitters, Semichev and Kurbanov. Best opposite, Shaban Mirzaev. Best setter, Christensen for the first time in his Russian club career. Best libero, Melkozerov. MVP, Marko Ivovic, who leaves Lokomotiv on a high note. Let me know how you felt about the tournament. What stood out? Was it worth holding this late in the season and in this format? Over in Italy, the season is officially done too. Milan faced Modena in the 5th place final, with a spot in the Challenge Cup on the line. Modena started strong, taking the first set easily, but then Milan took over, winning 3 straight to secure 5th place. Earlier, we saw one of the most dramatic matches in the Lube vs Trentino rivalry. The turning point? Set 2. Lube had the lead, but let it slip, and Trentino took control. After 5 sets, Trentino came out as the new Italian champions. Alessandro Micheletto was named MVP. Crazy stat. All 3 domestic trophies in Italy went to different clubs this year. Perugia got the Super Cup, Lube took the Italian Cup, and now Trentino the Scudetto. Now to Poland, where the season has also officially wrapped. Not a sad story, just time to close the book on another top league. The Bronze Series ended with former champs Jasiewski falling short. They couldn't win a single match against Project Warsaw. Each match they improved slightly. 0 sets in Game 1, 1 in Game 2, 2 in Game 3, but that still wasn't enough for a medal or a Champions League spot. Meanwhile, after 2 shaky games, Aluron bounced back to win Game 3 and forced the series back to Lublin, where tickets sold out in seconds once again. Winiarski's squad fought hard in the opening set, but once the home team stole it, they never looked back. Absolutely dominated the next 2. It's a historic first ever Polish championship for Lublin, and in Wilfredo Leon's debut season there no less. He's now the only player to win league titles in Russia, Italy and Poland. A living legend. And here's one more record to close things out. For the first time ever, Plus Liga broke 660,000 total fans in attendance for the season, beating the previous record of 553,000. The biggest contributor? Lublin's fans, who bought nearly 83,000 tickets this season. Their support clearly paid off. Though by average attendance per match, Gdansk fans came out on top, even though their team finished just 11th in the regular season. That wraps up the second to last volleyball news update of the season. Next week we'll talk about the European and Asian Champions Leagues, and after that, all eyes on the Nations League. And hey, drop a comment under the video while you're here, I'd really appreciate it. As always, this was Nick, love what you do and success will follow. See you soon, take care!